Okay, so just before we start to set up the velocities for the house, I just want to make some quick changes to a sim. So I'm gonna go quickly here inside my .NET network. First thing I'm going to do on my Pyro solver, I'm gonna change the cooling rate and I'm gonna lower it to 0.1 because I want it. I don't want it to cool down so fast and lose its speed because it's keeping it at 0.6 is going to slow it down quite a lot. So I made a flipbook just to compare the results when you between 0.6 and 0.1. So let me just bring that up. So okay, so this is what we had. Okay, with cooling rate at 0.6. If now I put a cooling rate at 0.1, so this is what we're going to get. So it's not going to lose its speed. Okay, it will, but I mean not so fast. So we keep a lot of energy in it, and that's really what we're looking for, because it would be really fast and it wouldn't slow down that quickly. And the other thing I want to change, let me bring this around here. So that's one thing. And the other thing, if you go to the advanced tab and to advection, I want to change the advection type to BFECC like we did last week. And I'm going to show you the difference between those two. So this is the default one, okay, the modified McCornack type. And if I switch it now to the BFECC, so this is what we get. So if I just switch from one to the other, the BFICC gives us a much more interesting look, and it's way closer, I think, to like a Pyroclastic flow or an avalanche than the how it's called again? Yeah, the modified McCornack. Okay, so this was the modified McCornack, and this is the BFICC. So those are the two things I really want to change, okay, before we go to the house velocities. So just change this, okay, and once it's done, we just go to the velocity. So now I'm going to go back up here, and I'm going to go inside my source. I'm going to select all this. I'm going to press Ctrl N to create a net box. I'm just gonna grab those nodes here, pull them out. This is Houdini not being able to layer this properly, and bring this one back in. Okay, and this one I'm gonna make it black, and I'm gonna call this source. And now here, I'm gonna bring an object merge, and we're gonna grab our house. So I'm gonna go to GeoMountain out house, okay, and I'm gonna rename this object merge house. Now what I'm gonna do here, let me just display the house and hide everything else. Okay, and we have a template I'm gonna get rid of. Okay, so I'm gonna separate the different parts of the house and just define for each of them the velocities I want. Okay, so let's start with the lower section. So I'm just gonna select here my face, and I have that beautiful bug, so I'm gonna just change to hidden light ghost. So I'm selecting a face, press 0 to have the entire selection, delete, and now I'm gonna go turn on delete not selected. Okay, and what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna press 0 again, so I'm not in the object mode anymore. Oops. And I'm just gonna grab half of it, delete again, then copy paste. Okay, and for this one just want to, okay, like this. So for this one, we're going to turn delete non-selected on, and we're going to write this like lower right, and then lower left. So now we're just going to compute the normals. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to use a VopSop again. There, I'm gonna turn on the normals. Okay, and I want to change this. So in there, I'm just gonna bring again a cross product node. Grab the normals, put it inside the first vector, then back in. Okay. So here we're getting already some interesting things. So that's not what I'm looking for. Here what I want to do is I'm gonna go with 0 here. No, maybe -1. Whoa, no, 1. Okay, so I don't like this one. I'm gonna go here -1 and maybe 0.5 here. -0.5, no. If I go 1, I just try to find, okay. Yeah, I think this should be okay. Yeah, so 1 and -0.5. Okay, so it's gonna push it a bit up and forward. Then, oops, I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna copy paste this one. Dive in, and now here we're going just to invert it. So minus, oops, 1 and then 0.5. Okay, good. Go back up. Now we're going to merge them back together. So now here we have a lower section. Okay. We're going to do the same here with midsection. Okay, sweetie. Okay. Delete. Just plug this one back up. Alt Y. Now delete non-selected. Okay. Here what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna subdivide this. I'm gonna change, I'm gonna override the crease, put a value of 10. And a depth of 2. That's gonna be enough. Okay, we don't need to go crazy high res with the details. It's just a velocity field. We don't need to be like all over the place. It's unnecessary and just gonna slow down or sim for the same result at the end. Okay, so now I'm gonna do exact same thing. So I'm gonna go select my faces, delete, copy paste, delete non-selected. Now I'm just gonna make, oops, yeah, so I didn't grab the right ones. So let me fix this. So S4, okay, so delete, Control C, V, and this one, delete non-selected, and we're going to call that mid left and mid right. So let's just grab those two, Control C, V. Now here, what I'm gonna do, oops. I don't want it to push it up anymore, so on my cross product here, oops, I'm gonna put this one to 1, this one to 0, so -1 I think would be better for this side. Okay, yeah, so it's really going to push it on the side and forward and then try to bring it back in front of the house, so we're gonna get this nice swirl coming. So we said -1, so for the other one here we're going to dive in and put this one to 0 and 1. If I go back up and merge those two together, okay, yeah, so that's cool. So if I just hide everything outside, that seems pretty good to me. Just one thing, just want to try something. I'm suspecting the viewport to have some ghost viewing in there. Sometimes, yeah, you might have noticed Houdini's viewport is just, yeah, so that's what was happening. Keeping in memory some old information and it still displays it to you, so kind of start to be confusing sometimes. Like, yeah, we were seeing all the old normals, you know. So when that happened, just close your scene view and just create a new one, and it's gonna fix most of the issues you usually have. Okay, so I like really the shape it gets there. Okay, how it's gonna push it around the house, and I'm finally going to do it for the roof as well. So just let's grab the roof. So S4 0. I'm just gonna go, yeah. Fortunately, didn't fix that other issue. I'm gonna put it on the side like this and delete non-selected. Okay, so again, subdivide, like this, override decrease, put the value of 10, and now I'm gonna go with a depth of 2. Okay. Let's go for 3. So I'm gonna select. I'm gonna go in my front viewport here, or right viewport, sorry, and select my faces like this. It's overlapping a little bit, but that's not a big deal. Delete. Now I'm gonna go back to my perspective view here. I just want to see. Okay, so that's our right side. Copy paste up, and this one delete unselected. So that's gonna be roof left, and this one roof. Oops, no. Roof right. So same thing, Control C, V. There. So we could actually rename these to cross, just to remember what we're doing in here. Always help us when we come back later, instead of just seeing VOPs up and guessing what we're doing inside of it. Okay, so I'm gonna display this one, turn on my normals. make them a little bit smaller again. Okay, so it's, yeah, see why they were that big? It's just because the VubSub wasn't compiled again properly. So here, what I'm gonna do, let me check. Yeah, I'm gonna maybe just add tiny bit on X, okay, and now I'm gonna leave this like this. So wait, let's go here, try this, maybe 0.5 and 1. Yeah, I think that's gonna be interesting. So it's gonna really push it up at the edge here, pushing it forward, and then bring it back down when it's reaching the edge of the roof. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna like this one. Okay, so 0.5 and 1. So now just dive here. So minus 0.5, 0 and minus 1. Just display the proper one. Oops. Yeah. No, was the opposite. So hold on. 1 and minus 0.5. Let's see, actually. Put them both together. Just thinking if I want to bring it. Yeah, I think bringing it toward the center might give us some nice swirls at the front instead of pushing it away. So here I'm gonna go on minus 0.5 like this. Yeah, I think that might be some interesting thing. Okay, and again, it doesn't have to be really perfect. If you want to go really more in detail, you could just paint your normals as well. So I'm gonna leave this now. I'm just gonna cookie something, even though I don't like using cookies, but I don't want to keep those inside faces, okay, where it's intersecting with the walls. So I'm just gonna get rid of these because we don't need them. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna go user define. So I'm gonna keep outside A, and yeah, that's kind of what I want. Check for full enclosure. I don't think these are necessary in that case. No, that's gonna be enough. Yeah, just turn keep outside A. Okay, so we just got rid of those faces here that weren't necessary. And now I'm just gonna lay down a merge, grab all these 3 in here. Okay, so now we have all our normals. Okay, so once again, I'm going to scatter points. Like this. Okay, and I don't need to template this one. So here I can see all my points. So this is really going to be my velocity. And I just want to animate this to add, instead of being it static, you know, to have some more interesting results coming out. So once again, VubSub. I love VubSubs because you can really easily change a lot of things. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna go like this. It's gonna be easier to read. Okay, so I'm gonna lay down an anti-flow noise. Okay, so I'm gonna grab the position here from P. I'm gonna already bring down an add node. grab the normals, plug it in, get this one back here to the output. Now, so for the flow, this is going to be giving me the possibility to animate my nose, okay, instead of being static. So I'm just gonna bring here my time, plug it inside the flow. I'm gonna add a multiply node, bring it in. Okay. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna already promote these parameters. And I'm gonna go with no, I'm gonna leave this one here. I'm gonna promote this one. I'm gonna rename this one to let's call it speed for now. Then I'm gonna bring here. Okay, let's already see what we get at that point. So if I play it, we don't see anything right now. So let me go up. Again, nothing. Force compile. Still nothing. Oh, right. Speed of 0. So that's not gonna help. Okay, so now we're just to see kind of motion going in there. Okay. So instead of being static, just turn real time on. We're going now to have like an animated noise field in there, and I could speed that up, or I could slow it down. Okay, but let's put it 1.5 maybe. Yeah. Okay, so that's fine. Now let's look at this. Okay, yeah, I'm just thinking if I should add more controls. No, we're going to leave it like this. So here I'm gonna recall this velocity noise. Oh, yeah. Okay. We could add more controls if really you want to go further with this, but I'm gonna leave it like this. So now what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna put down a fluid source. Okay. And we're going under scalar volume, put the number of volumes to 0, because we don't want to put any density in there. We just want to bring the velocity. Okay, so our source attribute is not going to be v, but in this case it's going to be n, because we just applied it to the normals. Then the size here, oops, okay, I'm going to make it pretty big. Again, it's just velocity. I don't need to go with a high-res container to bring my velocity in, so I'm going to put it like 1.8. I should be more than enough for size. Or no, sorry about that. I'm being wrong there. I wanted to change another one. So yeah, this one I'm gonna bring it at 0.12, and this one, distance sample, this is the one I wanted to bring up. Okay, so yeah, just recooking, and scale it's gonna be too big, so I'm just gonna lower it to 0.35 maybe. That should be okay. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna leave like this, and now I'm just gonna put a few colors in here to make it easier to read. Okay, I usually use blue most of the time for my attributes. So let's make it a bit nicer quickly. Up like this. Okay, and now down this one we could make it like light blue. And add a null finally. And this one we're going to call it out house vel. Okay, so now okay, I'm just going to change this one again. I don't see anything here to what was the last one? Like this. So that's our velocity. It's going to be down here. Okay, for house. Okay, so this being said, we're going to bring this now inside our top network. So let me bring this here. So what we're going to do up here, we're going to bring now, oops, too fast, a subgeometry. Okay. No, sorry about that. Sub vector field, because that's going to be better. So we're going to turn on new sub dimensions. Now we're going to bring in here from the source setup, not the source, always mixing up, or output house velocity. Okay, so that's our sub path. And down here now I'm going to rename the data, and I'm going to call this one add field. So we're going to store the velocity from our house, okay, inside the data field called add vel. And last thing, default operations, we're going to put it to set always, because it's animated, we want it to be cooking every single time. Otherwise it's not going to update it properly. And so now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to add a gas field VOP. And I'm going to plug this one already on the third input here. So if I keep my middle mouse on it, it's going to, you can see input 3 velocity update. And in here, we leave this like this, and we're going to bring, so vel. So let's keep it lower as well. We're going to bring in here as well with another parameter, the velocity from the house. Okay, so that's going to be add. Well, you know what? Let's call it house vel, so we know exactly what it is. Maybe easier sometimes. Okay, house vel. And here I'm gonna call this house vel, and then again house vel. Now I'm gonna use an add node, and I'm just gonna plug them both in here, and new parameter. Again, here what I'm gonna do with this one, I'm gonna call it again vel, oops, vel, and use this node to set parameters. Hold on, why is it not giving me anything here? Oh yeah, right, so no, always use this node. Okay, then plug this one in. There we go. So vel, just making sure everything is correct. and that's gonna be a vector. Oops, sorry about that. This let me just check why this one isn't bringing it. So I'm gonna go up, first compile, go back in. Why is it not letting? So I'm just making an error here just to be able to force it to go here and being able to change the type. Okay, I don't want to have any errors here coming. Because yeah, once you have twice the same name, it doesn't let you changing anything anymore. Okay, so tag. And I'm gonna make those invisible as well, because I don't want to see them up here. Okay. So that should be okay. Again, quickly double checking everything. I'm just surprised about this, 'cause okay, I'm gonna leave it like this. Tack. Okay, so I think that should be working. So the best way is just to try it. Okay, so I'm going to rename this to mountain, and I'm gonna add quickly our house first. So subpath, I'm going to geomountain outhouse, except just copy this. Use transform object, object transform collision. I'm gonna turn off the display. Okay, I don't need this here. So turn on collision guide again. So as we can see, yeah, we're missing the inside of the house. So let's just change this. I'm gonna keep it to intersect. Laser scan. Yeah, I want it to be more precise. So let's try again. Not by size. Stop cooking. Non-square. Oh. I'm gonna keep it like this, I think. Yeah. Again, no need to go crazy. Right now, I'm gonna just turn off the collision guide. I can turn this one back on, so same here. At least this is fast. It doesn't take time to cook. And I'm able to see what's happening inside my PyroSim. So I'm merging them both together here, going into my static solver. Now I'm gonna save this file first, save as, and I'm gonna go here to house vel. Okay, go to shaded mode. And I'm gonna sim this. Hold on, I'm just gonna pause this when I sim, okay, and I'm coming back once it's done. So I run the sim, so let me just bring the flipbook over here. Sequence list, and then this one. Let me just double check. Yeah, so I had an issue right here, so I'm gonna play it for you. And it was just breaking everything, okay? So what was happening there? I had some issues with the collisions with my house, so what I had to change, so let's change it here with you. So go back to the house and make sure under the collisions down here, by mistake I just clicked on invert sign, okay, and that caused it just to break. So as soon as the collision started, it started to break. So once I change this, and we can see now just by unchecking it, that's the new result. Okay, another thing, based on what I see here, kind of have the feeling that the nose might be maybe a little bit too strong on the house, you know. So yeah, might be worth maybe to kind of play a bit more with it. It's not necessary, but yeah, if you think it's gaining speed when it reaches the house, you could lower a little bit the noise, not the noise, sorry, the normals, but I'm not gonna do it right now. One other thing we can do, and I usually tend to do that as well, so no, I don't want to sim it now. Okay, so if we go, yeah, make sure this is off, so it's gonna save you some memory. Yeah, here, one thing we can do, I'm just gonna, should have in memory, yeah, paste, put a cache, file cache in between, and just cache out your velocity fill for the house, okay? Because that's actually pretty slow to compute the fluid source. So if you want to focus just on the pyro part and not changing anything anymore, just cache it out. It's going to really speed up your sim, so it doesn't have to cook this. Just load the cache back. Because right now I'm just loading the files, even though we don't see them. Let me display the points. Okay, so that's pretty fast. But if I would go here to my fluid source, so we can see this takes way more time to compute. So that's kind of stupid to do every time. I'm just gonna cancel that. Okay, just cache it out. Okay, that will save you a lot of time. So I'm gonna leave this as is. So now I'm just playing my cache. Okay, I usually try to cache as much as I can, because if I know something is good enough or I don't need to change it anymore, I just cache it out, so I don't have to compute it every single time. And then yeah, you just have to remember to update your cache if you have to make some changes. Okay, so we got here a sim, it's working with the house. What we're going to do next, it's just to set up our upres sim, okay? Because this is still a low-res version of it, and yeah, we obviously want to bring it up. So let's do this. I'm gonna grab my .NET key, PyroFX, no, container tools, and the upres is here. So let me go back up and do it again. Control upres. Okay, let me do it here. Yeah, there we go. I always forget I have to grab that node. Okay, so in here, what I'm gonna change, because we can see it's unlocked as well. I'm gonna go quickly inside. Yeah, it just copied our upres node. I'm just going to turn off that section here, like this. And it might have a trail at the end, maybe, but to be confirmed. But yeah, I don't think we need this one right now. Even if we have a little bit of overlapping, wouldn't be that bad. Let's turn it off for now, okay, for the upres version. Leave it like this. Then if we go on the upres, what I'm gonna check, if I go to shape, okay, I'm just gonna change a bit all this. Let's break here and make it 0.7. 0.007, sorry, and this turbulence, we're going to animate this again. So, oops, no. Let's turn off here, awesome. And I'm gonna go put this at 0.4, put a keyframe there, go around frame 50, and put that up to 1. Okay, so yeah, that's okay. I'm gonna put more turbulences. Okay, this and nose frequency, yeah, let's make that smaller. Okay, so I'm going to turn off right now the velocity coming from the house. Okay, we already got it into our lower sim, so I don't think this is necessary at that point. Yeah, and I'm gonna leave everything else by default. You might want to try maybe to turn it on if you're not happy with the result, but I'm gonna leave it off. Okay, so let me put this here and go here. So that's gonna be our, let me copy this and call this up res. So in here we had this. Okay, good. So I'm going to grab this, Control X, paste it down here. We don't need this one anymore. And in here, what I'm going to do is the usual thing like last week. Okay, so a volume compress. You should still have that preset. Okay, so if I go there, grab the preset. Okay, I'm going to straight copy paste this one, plug it in here. Now I'm gonna add a delete sub down here. This one we're going to call it at name is equal to vel, like this. So if I double check that, so let me go back here. I'm gonna play this, turn my simulation back on. Okay, that's gonna be enough. So if I just go to the detail view, go to primitives, so I have my different fields. Okay, I got rid of the velocity, so that's fine. Now I'm gonna add here a volume resample. And I'm gonna resample scale this time at 0.5. No need to go at 0.3 like last week. I'm going to copy paste this one. Oops. Then here I'm gonna add another delete. I'm gonna type at name is not equal to density. So if I check here, yeah, we're keeping only the density. So now file. So here we're gonna change this to right. I'm gonna turn it off for now. So that would be file preview. Okay, if you would like to save a preview, and we can save another file here if we want for the velocity. Hold on. This one should be not equal. There we go. So velocity deck. Okay. Density. Okay, so here I'm gonna add another delete. Yeah, I'm just gonna get rid of everything. So now we have density, temperature, heat, fuel, plus velocity. Okay, that's fine. And we can bring those in here like this. Okay. Bring this on the side here. And just add a null. And call this one out low res sim. Up. And now here we're going to go for just put a null CV. Up res sim. So this is set up as well. Okay. So now if we're going to see in the next video, it's how to set up our emitters, so we can, in order to see multiple containers. Okay, so we're going to set up like around 50 points, so to have like 50 containers.